Drake did beat Missouri. They sent Missouri home in the first round, and they were just the better team. I mean, Missouri made a run there in the second half, but Drake was just the better team through and through, in the entire night. And obviously for Ben McCollum, who's been attached to lots of job openings, very validating win for him. Rob, what made Drake so successful today against Missouri?
Well, they were able to frustrate Missouri defensively. And I don't know if you guys might have seen this happening. I don't know if I necessarily saw them being able to give Missouri that many problems on the defensive end of the floor. I don't think that you'll look at this and you'll watch the tape and say this is the best offensive performance that we've seen Drake have this season. I thought they did enough to be able to win. I don't know if it was necessarily the greatest thing that we've seen them do, but the question that I had with Drake coming in, and I said this before the game started on our Madness cast. By the way, you can watch that tomorrow starting at noon Eastern time. We'll be live again for 12 hours. My question was, when Missouri does all of their switching stuff and it forces Drake to try to beat you one-on-one in the mismatch, are you going to be able to do that? And I thought that they were able to do it well enough. Bennett Sturts hit a one-legged running three that he said he's never practiced before. And then he had another runner off of a go screen where they were able to take advantage of the switching that Missouri was doing. They made enough plays down the stretch to be able to avoid giving up that comeback, and they got the win, McCall.
Yeah, they got the win, no question about it. I mean, that's, I felt like going into the game, Missouri's size, physicality, athleticism would take over, and it didn't. And that's a credit to Drake. To be able to win that game, win a game in the NCAA tournament as we're watching this game. I mean, we're locked in on this one right now.
Yeah.
I can't help.
Oh, what a rebound.
Offensive rebound by Michigan.
Yes, keep going.
Well, no, I mean, we're sorry. We're used to the Madness cast cadence a little bit here. It goes,
The thing that stood out to me about Drake, too, when Missouri cut it and had a chance to take the lead, they kept their poise. That's the one thing. You see a bunch of kids that played high-level Division II basketball, and they stayed poised. They didn't get rattled. And part of that is Bennett Sturts. You look at him, and he's like this all the time. Even Keel. Again, this is the best story in college basketball this year. A bunch of D2 kids coming with their D2 coach. And in year one,
it really
dominating the Missouri Valley. When nobody thought. They were picked preseason sixth. Nobody thought they were any good.
And he's a D2 coach who was like, his name was being thrown around for Indiana.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. Like, Indiana.
Because there's so much
respect
for him.
Now he's the guy at Iowa. Josh Schertz last year, with the job that he did at Indiana State, and now he's at St. Louis, a former D2 coach. Like, these guys as coaches didn't skip steps.
Yeah.
Like, that's a credit to them.
Yeah, good. I mean, in terms of this Drake team very well. They're like your adopted children. We all.
I do like him.
Yeah, we all
I saw him in Charleston, and to be honest, I fell in love with this group. It's hard not to.
Yeah.
They play the right way. They're disciplined. They're not that talented. They're not super athletic, but they find ways to win games.
And they have a style.
Yeah.
They have a style. Like that. Like, this is their style. This is how they're playing. This is what they're doing. They have a style.
I mean, just the fact that, again, like against Missouri, they were able to get those shots consistently throughout the game was really impressive, because I thought Missouri could really rattle them.
Yeah, I mean, that was the biggest thing. There were some of us here on this panel, right, that had Missouri in thetheir Final Four. And
you and Jarrell.
I'm just curious.
That would be you and Jarrell.
I'm just curious how Jarrell feels about that right now.
It was my dark horse pick.
Does anybody think that Drake can make a run? Does anybody among us think that Drake can actually win the next one?
Well, here's the thing. What we're watching the Texas Tech UNCW, and
this UNC
they can beat. Obviously, they can beat UNC 100%.
But the way Texas Tech is even playing,
they can beat Texas Tech too.
Right.
Like, this is a team that could absolutely make a run to the second.
It would be again. It would be one of the cooler stories.
Yeah, it would.
Like, honestly, in college basketball in a while.
It would, and it's a great story. And I think more than anything, it was a battle of pace tonight. They did a really good job of making Missouri work for everything they get. They kept them out of transition, and they did what they did on offense. They worked for the best shot.
Yep.
When they had to take it under 5 seconds to the shot clock, they did that, and it worked in their favor because even when Missouri made that run, they Bennett was able to stir. He was able to.
He's the best player on the floor tonight.
Yeah,
He
he
was.
was able to make
And
a
I'm
couple
not
big
surprised
shots,
one
man.
bit. You know, I just didn't know if he'd have enough help.
Yeah, he's a game.
That was my biggest worry. But he was able to control the tempo, and you know the other guys don't make it. I mean, they had a bunch of turnovers, but Missouri had. I mean,
Look,
they didn't play a very clean
Drake
game.
won this with their defense. They won this game with their defense. They
Yeah, they
advanced
got
with their
back.
defense, and then they made enough shots down the stretch after they were able to build up a 15-point lead. That's the way that they won
There
this
weren't
game.
many fast break points by Missouri.
On a day that particularly lacked, the big upsets, the big,
Excitement.
that was definitely at the top. That was definitely at the top. I don't know, that just watching it here, that did not look to me like a team that was going to be happy with just getting the one. They didn't look like, this is. I think they are coming for more. And like Rob said, either one of these teams in the Texas Tech UNC Wilmington game, I mean, they're not blowing anybody out of the water here. Texas Tech has their fair share of injuries, so I think Drake fans should be very hopeful about Saturday. I do. I'm not saying they're gonna be favored or anything like that, depending on who wins, but
They got a chance.
they definitely have a chance. I mean, you don't always think that. You don't always think that the double-digit seed that wins a first-round game has a chance in the next one. But I think in this case, they definitely do.
Oh.